Hi friends, my name is Crystal and I'm from Korea. Please like and subscribe. When my mom was pregnant with me, so was her best friend. When our kids are born, they'll be buddies just like us. And Ben and I were. Growing up, he was my pal. One time Ben and I were playing and he was running after me. Then he accidentally nudged me and I fell down the stairs. I hit my head, but before I could cry, Ben started wailing. "No, Crystal! Oh my God! It's all my fault! Does it hurt? Let me pick you up. Gosh, you're heavy. Crystal, are you okay?" "Ben, I'm fine, really." Saying that, I hugged him. Ben was such a softie. I did get a small Harry Potter-like scar on my forehead, but I didn't blame Ben. He was the best and I wished we'd always be together. But when I was 5, Ben and his parents had to move to France for a work opportunity, and I missed him so much. As if things couldn't get any worse, Dad suffered a huge loss in his business soon after. Slowly, I saw how bad Mom and Dad's relationship was getting because of money problems. And after a few years, Mom left us. But Dad always tried to make me happy. We were so short on money that we had to shop at thrift stores, but he spent hours looking for the things I'd like. "Look at this jacket, Crystal. It has rhinestones. You love rhinestones." "It is pretty, Daddy." "See? I told you we'd find some good stuff here." Since I was a good student, I got a scholarship at my school and relieved Dad of that burden. I worked hard and was a top student. I needed to keep the scholarship. And when I was in the 10th grade, something awesome happened. Ben and his parents had returned to town and moved into a big mansion. And seeing Ben on the first day of school after summer vacation, my heart started beating fast. And then he swept me into his arms. "Crystal, oh my God, you haven't changed a bit." "But you have. You're so tall. And wow, so muscular." Ben and I were in the same class and we started hanging out together all the time. But I soon realized he was getting way too much attention from all the girls, especially Mia. And she was the worst. She acted like she owned the whole town, just because her mom was the mayor. And to my horror, Ben and Mia soon started dating. I hated her, but for Ben's sake, I pretended to be nice, and she did the same. She acted like a saint in front of Ben, but not when he wasn't around. She'd do petty things like pull out the chair when I was about to sit, and she would always comment on my clothes and appearance. I'm saying all this for your benefit. No one likes a girl who looks so poor. I'd rather be poor than a jerk like you. Gosh, what did Ben ever see in that witch? One time for lunch, Ben had gotten the yummiest pizza and we were enjoying it when Mia came and hugged him tight. "Oh, I missed you so much in art class. Why didn't you join it, Benny Wenny?" "You know I'm a science guy, babe. Here, wanna have some pizza?" She refused, and then Ben packed the leftovers and told me I should take them home because he was full. Dad and I never ordered out much, and I was happy to share it with him. A few weeks later, it was Ben's birthday and he invited me to his place. I saw how Ben and Mia were dancing so close to each other, and it made me feel so jealous. I went to the balcony for some fresh air. After a while, I was headed back inside when Mia and some of her friends came, and I hid behind a plant. "You've really got yourself a hot boyfriend this time, Mia." "Yeah, he's totally wrapped around my fingers. He adores me and gives me the best gifts. There's just one problem. His miserable beggar friend. Oh, I really hate her. You know, Ben cares for her so much that he gets her favorite pizza for lunch every day and pretends to be full so she can take the leftovers home. He really pities her and she has no shame. She could probably live on his charity forever." Why would Ben tell her something like that? What? So pathetic. Wiping my tears, I just ran back home. After that date, I sort of ignored Ben, even though he asked me if something was wrong a million times. I just didn't need his pity or his charity. When we were in our senior year, our teacher announced a science tournament and the winning team was going to get an amazing cash prize. Dad and I could always use the money, so I immediately signed up for it, and I was paired with Ben. I tried to get my partner changed, but the teacher said it was final. "So, you want to come over to my place to brainstorm some ideas?" No thanks. "Hey, Crystal, I don't know why you stopped talking to me, but come on. This is a great opportunity. Let's do this together, please. I knew Ben was a science genius, and being paired with him was probably the best thing, so I reluctantly agreed. We came up with some really cool ideas, and I ended up at his place almost every day to work on them. But I noticed how his mom was never around. A few times I asked about her, but he'd always ignore the question. But one time, Ben and I were at a park near his home, and he asked me the strangest question ever. Crystal, do you ever miss your mom? Does she call you? How does it feel to live with just one parent? I never really thought about it. I guess it's not so bad knowing how much my dad loves me. It's not exactly a secret that we don't have much money, but he goes out of his way to make me happy. I don't know how to live with two parents, but the one I have, I love to bits. That's really sweet. I asked because, well, my mom, she isn't well. She's going through treatment. Sometimes it's really hard to see her like that. Oh God, Ben, I'm so sorry. I didn't know he was going through such a rough time. Crystal, why'd you stop talking to me? Taking a deep breath, I told him what happened at his birthday party. Crystal, Mia kinda twisted my words. Yeah, I told her you guys were going through a tough time. But because you're my friend and I care about you, not because I pity you. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have discussed it with her at all. Saying that, he came close and swept my bangs aside. You still have the scar. I was so scared that day. I'm so sorry, Crystal. Hey, it was a long time ago, and it kind of reminded me of you when you were away. Ben looked at me like he might kiss me, but he suddenly snapped his fingers. Bazinga! I just got a brilliant idea for our project! And he sure did. Just a few more adjustments and our model worked. We came first at the science competition, and Ben gave all the prize money to me, saying I did the hard work. It wasn't true, and I knew he was just being kind. Why did such a nice guy have to be with Mia? But then Ben told me one day that he was gonna break up with Mia soon. My heart was jumping with excitement, but I pretended to be sad. And when Ben broke it to Mia, the girl had a complete meltdown. She took a bat and smashed all the notice boards around the school. During her psycho rampage, Mia suddenly spotted me and was coming right at me. But Ben stepped in between. Stop making a fool of yourself, Mia. It's over.
You're doing this because of her? Because of this poor, ugly bimbo?
Crystal's my best friend, and she's special to me. Don't insult her again. Mia stomped off furiously, and I was left dazed. Ben just said I was special to him. Whoa! I was on cloud 9, and I just needed to confess my love to my best friend. I didn't have the guts to say it to his face, and we didn't have phones, so I wrote him a letter. Dear Ben, I saw you for the first time in kindergarten, and I've had a crush on you since. What I really want to tell you is that I love you. A lot. Crystal. During recess, I slipped the note in Ben's bag, but for some reason he got called to the principal's office in the last period. I kept wondering if he saw the letter, and when I got a reply the next day in my locker, I almost had a heart attack. Dear Crystal, I love you too. I was gonna tell you, but I didn't have the courage. Let's meet at our spot tonight. I can't wait to kiss you. Ben. It was like all my dreams were coming true. Wearing a new dress, I went to the park and waited for Ben. I was so excited and nervous. But suddenly, I felt someone pull my hair and I landed on my butt. Mia!
Oh, a new dress for Ben. He ain't coming, sweetie. He showed us your letter, and we're all in fits.
What? You're lying.
Oh, no, I'm not. You really think he'd leave me for some poor beggar like you? In your dreams, girl.
Mia kicked me, and suddenly I saw red, and I pounced on her. But her friends got me off of her, and then they all ripped my beautiful dress. I felt so furious that I punched Mia square in the jaw. What happened next was a disaster. Mia called her mom and made up a whole story about how I attacked her for no reason. And her mom made a case of assault against me and actually sent me to juvie for 2 months. My dad was devastated, and so was I. Even worse, Ben never showed his face. Not once. Coward! As soon as I got out, Dad and I left town. After weeks of interviews, Dad finally ended up finding a decent job, and I worked as a waitress too while I studied in a community college. 4 years later, I graduated with a law degree at the top of my class. Luckily, I got hired by a law firm, and just a couple of years later, I became a junior partner. One day, I read a piece of news that filled me with joy. Mia's mom had been arrested for corruption during her time as mayor. The whole family was being publicly humiliated. They deserved it. Sometime later, my firm asked me to set up an office in my old town, and I was kind of glad to return. I wanted to show everyone what I'd made of myself. One day, I was busy doing some paperwork when Mia walked into my office, asking me for a job.
Please, Crystal, help me. No one in this town wants to hire me or my family for anything. I know I was mean to you.
Cruel. You were cruel to me.
Yes, cruel and terrible. Please, please forgive me.
After Mia begged for a job for days, I finally let her be my personal assistant, and she had to do literally everything I asked. I really made her suffer. For a while it was fun, but then it wasn't. Seeing her qualifications, I gave her a higher position.
Wow, I don't know what to say. Thank you. And this means you've forgiven me?
No, not really, but I'm trying to be a better person. Better than people were to me.
Crystal, I never wanted things to go so far. With you going to juvie and everything, Mom just got carried away. I'm really, really sorry.
After that day, Mia was always nice to me, and so was I. I just didn't want to hold grudges. But one day, as I was walking out of a coffee shop, I bumped into a guy. It was Ben. Oh my God, Crystal? I've missed you. We need to talk. Suddenly, the memory of him giving my letter to Mia came rushing back. No, stay away from me. But the next day, there were tons of roses in my office and a note from Ben telling me how he wanted to meet at our spot. What a jerk. But this kept happening every day for a week. One day, I got so frustrated that I started throwing them out the window. But Mia stopped me.
Crystal, I need to tell you something. And it's gonna make you hate me even more, but I have to. Ben is completely innocent.
What are you talking about?
Ben never got your letter. I stole it from his bag, and I lied that he showed it to me. I made all of that up. And he never showed up to see you because, well, he'll tell you everything. And again, I'm terribly sorry.
I drove to our spot in the park and saw Ben sitting on the swings, and I gave him a chance to explain. Turns out, the day I put the letter in his bag, Ben got the news that his mom had suddenly gotten much sicker, and he flew to France with her for some treatment. He stayed there the next 3 months, and he said he called my place and wrote me letters, but he never got a reply. And when he returned, I'd already left town. I looked for you a lot, but I had no idea where you were, or why you'd left without a word, till Mia reached out to me some weeks ago and explained everything she did. She just told me everything too. I'm so sorry about your mom. I'm sorry I left without giving you a chance to even explain. It's all in the past. There's only one thing I need to say to you now, Crystal. The thing is, I've always loved me. Yes, I've always loved you too, Ben, since forever.